KBOI 2 News, first at 4.
The Zika virus has now reached Idaho. Thanks for joining us. I'm Natalie Hurst.
And I'm Brent Hunsaker. A 60-year-old woman from northern Idaho is infected with Zika. State health officials say she recently traveled to Mexico. KBOI 2's Scott Logan joins us live to explain why those health officials are not yet sounding the alarm. Scott.
Well, officials here at the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare say this is the first reported case of the Zika virus in Idaho, and now Idaho becomes the 47th state in the country to report a travel-related Zika infection this year. Although the Zika virus has now been detected in the Gem State, Idaho health officials say there's no health threat to the general public.
Well, you know, the two mosquitoes that transmit Zika virus are not in Idaho, so there's really no danger to the general public.
Zika can cause severe birth defects if infection occurs in pregnant women.
Our biggest concern is really for pregnant women and women who might be trying to become pregnant, and just making sure that they take precautions if they're traveling to a place where there's localized Zika virus transmission in the mosquitoes.
The Department of Health and Welfare says the woman from North Idaho developed symptoms after a recent trip to Mexico. Her doctor sent test results to the state health lab, and the infection was confirmed by the Centers for Disease Control. And I'm told by the folks here at the Department of Health and Welfare that the woman was not in need of hospitalization, that she was not hospitalized even with these symptoms. Live in Boise, Scott Logan, KBOI 2 News.
As you know, the Zika virus has been making headlines for months, but it's never hit so close to home.
So let's review some of the basics about Zika. It's mainly spread by mosquitoes that bite during daylight hours. Like the woman in northern Idaho, you're more likely to contract the disease outside of the United States in places like Mexico, as well as Central and South America. However, the CDC also says it can be spread through sexual contact. At this point, there is no vaccine for the virus.
Now, the symptoms of the virus are generally mild. You could experience a slight fever, even develop a rash, and you could have painful joints. There is no treatment, but symptoms should disappear after a week. However, doctors say most people do not feel any symptoms at all after contracting the disease.
So how do you protect yourself? Doctors recommend wearing long sleeves, long pants to prevent bites. Also, they say spray your clothing with DEET repellent as an extra layer of protection. But remember, health officials say the mosquito that carries the virus is not normally found here in the Gem State.
Now, unlike Idaho, the virus is spreading in parts of South Florida. Investigators are hitting the streets of Miami-Dade County, hoping to wipe out the mosquitoes that spread the virus. Officials believe local mosquitoes have infected at least 15 people, again in South Florida. They say spraying isn't enough. Residents have to do their part.
At least twice a week, go around their properties, and if they see any type of something water, to get rid of it.
The National Institutes of Health says the first phase of a clinical trial testing on a Zika vaccine is now underway. The first volunteer was vaccinated Tuesday.